Hello everyone, Dreams Henna here. So today I'm going to create a half mandala design connected to the index finger with a chain. So I'm going to start off by creating a swirl. And I'm going to go over it with a thicker line. Next, I'm going to create a border around the swirl. But before I do that, I made a little error here, as you can see. So I'm going to use a Q-tip and I'm going to wipe that off. It's important to correct errors right away when you're working on hands, because the longer you leave the paste on, the more it'll stain the hand. So I'm creating a thin border around the swirl now and going over it with a thicker line. Now I'm going to create humps all around that border there, and I'm going to make sure that they're more or less the same size and the same height. Feel free to pause the video if you need to, if you feel that I'm going a bit too fast. Next, I'm creating another layer of humps all around. Now I'm going to create some larger bumps, kind of like flower petals, and they're going to go all around. I'm going to use thin lines first, and then I'm going to go over it with thicker lines. Now I realized I made some of the bumps bigger than the other at this point, because I am working in an angle, and for the purpose of the video it's kind of hard to tell, but it's still a little bit bigger, as you can see on the right side. So I went over the petals with a thicker line, squeezing the cone more as I get to the top of the curve there. Now I'm creating a thinner line just above the petals, just so that the design pops a bit. Next, I'm going to create swirls for the roses all around. So this is my personal touch that I added to this very popular design that you can easily find on Google. So now I'm going to create petals around the swirls. So the way I did them is, while dragging the cone, I'm just squeezing it as I drag to create the petals. And I'm doing it 3 times per swirl. Next, I'm going to add leaves in between each rose, just above the petal. Now here I realized that the leaves are kind of floating, and I didn't like the look of it, so I erased it. I was trying to be careful here so that I don't mess up the roses. Alright, so I'm going to stick to 2 leaves this time, and they're going to be closer to that petal that I just made. There you go. I like the look of that. All right, now that I'm done with the leaves, I'm going to move on to the index finger. I'm going to start off by creating 4 horizontal lines. I'm going to fill in the line in between, the 2 lines in between, just to add more definition. And I'm going to add humps to the bottom and the top line. Now I want to make the design consistent, so I'm going to add a rose at the top there along with the petals. Again, I'm just dragging the cone as I squeeze it to create the petals. Now I want to create a chain. Feel free to pause the video if you need to, if you're following along. You can do the swirly line and thin line, and then check to see if you're happy with it, and then go over it with a thicker line if you need to. So here I'm adding some large dots spread out on the chain here, and in between each of the larger dots I'm adding smaller dots. I'm adding some leaves to the rose on the index finger. Looked a little empty. Now I noticed here that the petals looked a little empty as well, so I'm adding some dots in there to fill up the design. I think it looks better that way. So there we have it, a half mandala design connected to the index finger. It's a very popular design you can spot on Google, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you for watching.